I got mistaken for a child again and I sent a man to the hospital. I'm tiny. I'm 4 feet 7, and an adult woman. I decided to go on a jog today since it finally stopped raining. I was wearing a pink Hello Kitty hoodie because it's cold out. I jogged out of my neighborhood and down the road a bit, using the crosswalk to enter the sidewalk that took me towards town. A few minutes later there's suddenly a big burly guy yelling at me and approaching me asking why I'm out in the middle of a field and that I'd have to come with him. I refused, because I don't randomly go along with large strange men I don't know. He tried to grab me, so I pepper sprayed him. I emptied the whole can on him and then I kicked him a bunch and called him a rapist. It was about this point that I noticed even more people coming down the hill to see what was happening, since there was a grown man wailing like a baby on the ground, and realized I'd jogged into the field across the street from the local middle school, and this guy the first just beat up is wearing a staff badge. He was one of the teachers, saw me, mistook me for one of his students that was slacking off and came down to reprimand me. It's kinda foggy, so I guess he couldn't really see me that well until he got up close, but still, I wasn't even on school property. The police came, the guy said it was his fault. The CCTV on the school showed him approach me in a threatening manner, and his coworker said that he didn't think I was a student since I was all the way out in the field and that all of the students were already accounted for. No charges were pressed, and I was asked if I wanted to press charges because the guy tried to grab me. I didn't. I just decided that maybe morning jogs outside the school aren't for me and went home. The guy went away in an ambulance because I used a can of bear mace on him. Bear mace? Damn dude, you were not messing around. Bear mace is the only mace unless you use a steel mace, then steel mace is the only mace. Bear mace is easier to conceal, I bet. Not having a mace, I can only guess. What a dickhead. If you were a student he should never have been approaching you like that. I hate adults using their status to be intimidating and powerful over younger people. I'm glad you emptied that can in his face. I suspect he won't do it again. From one young-looking adult to another. In my opinion, the best thing to do is not just typical self-defense courses, but obstacle courses. If I'm up against someone much larger, the first might help me, but not as much as I need. Emo being able to run and/or scale fences and put real distance between us counts more. As a tall person, I am aware that my weakness in a fight is a smaller person going for my legs and throwing me off balance. I definitely would have pressed charges lol, if he thought you were a student, who grabs and talks to a student that way. It says a lot about his character, and he deserved that bear mace shower. I eventually figured out he was like the assistant principal, even though the middle school doesn't even have one of those. The other teachers told me that this is how he keeps unruly kids in check, aside from telling them he's legally allowed to hurt them, because he's also the football coach. Wholesome.